Hey folks! Now that we've talked about iterators and the standard template library, I wanted to just briefly take a look at the item tree for the current project, especially since you're going to have to work with iterators in the item tree as part of Lab 3. So if we take a look in the header file for the item tree, we'll find the definition of a node in here someplace. So our nodes in the item tree each have, the various pointers to their children and the parent and whatnot, and the address string for the quadrant that node represents. But what we're really interested in this time around is the list of items that are kept in that particular node. So this is actually a list of pointers to items. So for every item that's been inserted, there'll be a pointer to it somewhere in this list. And again, that's just a standard list, right? Our list template, and we're making each of them a pointer to an item. So that's our item list. There's one of those for each node. And as part of Lab 3, you're going to be going through and implementing methods that either search or print what's in a particular node's list. So going through and print quad, for instance, or find in quad, where you're going through and looking through that list for a particular item, or going through and just printing out what's in that list. So I wanted to take a quick look at, again, what that's going to look like, just put it in the context of what we've been playing with. So in this particular file, all I've done is copy the skeletons for the 3 functions that you're going to be actually editing as part of Lab 3. So there's print quad that runs through that list, and again, you're basically going to use an iterator to walk through the items currently in the or the item pointers currently in the list and print each one. Same idea for find in quad. You're going to be going through, looking through the items in the list, and 2 versions of that essentially. So one returning a pointer, one just seeing if it's in there. Let's see, what did I want to take a look at? So let's just go for the print quad, just to get us rolling. So again, in the skeleton that I provided, I included the definition of the iterator that you would use. And again, the idea is we've got a standard list of pointers to items, and we want an iterator for those. So I've just called the iterator I. So again, when you're going through working with this, and you'll complete the body of this and the others, but the basic idea is we want to start off with that I is set to, what did I call my item list? Did I actually call it item list? Let's go back and take a look at our, yes, so item list was the name of our list. So we want to go through, we've checked to make sure that the pointer to the current node isn't null, so we know it's actually there. So I can say, okay, for my item list, I want to go through and grab the reference to the first item, right? So I'm going through and setting my iterator up to refer to the first item in the list. And then as you're going through, like we did with the examples in the video session, you're going through and you can use increment and decrement on I, so I++ and I minus to go back and forth. You can check it against the item list.end to see when you've run off the end of the list. And essentially all you're doing is saying, okay, well, for the current item, when you want to actually access it, you can say, okay, well, I want whatever I refers to, and that gives me a pointer to the current item. And then for that item, you can then go ahead and use things like, you can call the print method through that pointer, or whatever other methods are in your items. So that's really all I wanted to do, is make sure that everybody was okay with the data types that we're using. And again, we can relate the syntax to what we looked at for the other standard list pointers and iterator, or standard list items and iterators. And yeah, hopefully this will make sense. Okay, I will leave it there.